Today we're going to make a Halloween-themed motion sensor that plays a spooky sound when triggered. Welcome to Jim and Joe's. To trigger the circuit, we're going to use an HC SR501 infrared sensor. This motion sensor has two pots, one for adjusting the sensitivity and the other one for adjusting the delay. The range is adjustable to about 7 meters. An Arduino Pro Mini running at 16 MHz will be used to control the system. Due to the limited memory the Arduino Pro Mini has, an SD card reader will be utilized so we can play longer samples. 2 GB micro SD cards will be used to hold the samples. Several LEDs will be added to the circuit to add a strobe light effect to the Halloween-themed motion sensor. The first pin of the motion sensor is ground, which will connect to the ground rail. The second pin is signal, which goes to the Arduino's pin 9, with the final pin being positive, or VCC, which goes to our positive rail. On the SD card, CS, or chip select, goes to pin 4 of the Arduino. SSK goes to pin 13 of the Arduino. MOSI goes to pin 11 of the Arduino. MISO goes to pin 12, with VCC and ground going to the rails of our breadboard. For the strobe effect, I'm using 3 LEDs. The negative is hooked up to a 100 ohm resistor and is plugged into the ground rail, with the positive going to pin 6 on the Arduino Pro Mini. For the speakers, we hook the ground to the ground rail, and the positive will go to pin 10 on the Arduino. And now with all the connections made, we simply need to upload the code using an FTDI USB serial to host. So let's look at the code. Okay, so we include SD.h, TMR PCM.h, PCMRF.h, PCMconfig.h. If these aren't available, I'll try and include a link, otherwise check GitHub. We now define our pins. We have our chip select on pin 4 from the SD card, the speakers on pin 10, the motion sensor on 9, and the LEDs on 6. In setup sound, we set our sound object to speaker, our CS pin, or chip select, to our chip select pin variable, and then we tell it to not loop forever, just play once. We then initialize the SD card, and if it fails, we return because we can't continue. So we have an exclamation. We set the volume of the sound object. In the strobe function, this is where we turn our LEDs on and off with a high-low, and we wait 50 milliseconds. This will give us our strobing effect. In setup, we set the LED to output so we can turn on the strobe light effect, and we set them to low to make sure they're off. The motion sensor we set to an input so we can read its values, and then we call the setup sound function, which we've already gone over. Last but not least, we have the loop function. Inside the loop, we check to see if the motion sensor has been triggered. If it's high, we also make sure that the sound object is not playing, and we play the sound, and turn on the strobes. If the motion sensor has not detected anything, it'll read low, in which case we stop the playback, and we turn the strobes off. The DIY package will include all the components you've seen, plus the code as a download. The DIY package will be available on eBay. Please check the description for the link to that. Once again, we'd like to thank you for joining Jim and Joe's. Have a safe and happy holiday. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with others. And we'll see you next time.